Hello and happy Tuesday, guys. Coming to you with a night inspiration session just because my day got really busy with so many orders and questions and lots of positive feedback with the catalogs going live today, the mini July through December catalog, even though I'll call it the holiday catalog most of the time, that went live. And even though it's called July through December, it's starting August 3rd because of so many items that were going to be delayed with shipping. They just decided, let's postpone this for a month and then let everything catch up. And I totally agreed with that decision for the fact that it allowed the products to be in. There's nothing more frustrating than thinking you're going to be able to order something and have it count towards celebration and then not have that be available. So yes, hi Joyce, hi Lisa, hi Brenda, hi Lois. So good to see so many of you on here for at nighttime. Sometimes I get a whole different group of people watching, but I want to continue on with Deb King's. Oh my goodness, I totally forgot. Thought about it 3 times. Deb's host code. I will post that with a picture. It won't be on my workstation. I promise tomorrow. So I am going to be bringing you Deb King's card number 2. So I'm super excited about this card because it shows you a little bit of a technique. And my hostess Deb is always about different techniques. Normally she really likes anything with like a fun fold or a fancy fold, but I'm showing something that has more of a different technique. Not that it's that different. Some of you have seen it, probably even done it, things like that, but I want to show you step by step how to see that. So hi there, Connie, good to see you too. So let me get my iPad down and my camera at the right angle for you guys. So yeah, this is Deb's second card out of her 3-part virtual series here that I'm doing for you guys. Kind of want to get my workstation in there as much as possible. There we go. Make sure that my tripod's steady. That's even more important. Okay, so the fun part today is because Celebration already kicked off, I can open up my my brochure here too, because normally I can't do that. Hold on, let's see. I just want to, I don't know if, okay, hold on. I just wanted to see how my video was working out, and that way I could see comments without looking at my screen here. But okay. Oh, thanks, Lisa. I am getting some more sleep, although today I do feel really tired. I'm not gonna lie. So maybe I'm looking just like I'm getting caught up, but I've got a ways to go till I feel that way. But thanks. Okay, so Celebration. Every time you spend $50 or $100, you get to pick something from this brochure every single time. Not just like, oh, you get to 50, you pick something, but you got to 100 and you're done at 50. No, it's every time you hit that. So there's some pretty papers and such, and I want to do something with the cute penguins, but today I'm not going to flip through here too much. The other day I showed you the cute peaceful prints with the deer, and today we are doing the free counting sheep. So if you spend $50, you get the super cute sheep stamp set. And if you spend another $50, you get all these dies. I was honestly surprised that these dies were in the $50 category because they're so cute. Look at the cute fence and then all the embellishments. And then the sun here is stitched in the middle with that circle. And then 3 dies, some clouds and different things. So you can get that free with a $50 purchase as well. So wanted to point that out. So that's what I'm working with tonight is the cute stamp set here. And before I forget, I have a cheesy joke that I want to share with you. So Stampin' Up! Gave me kind of this outline in an email that they sent out, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to save that email because I think this would be a fun card to make for you guys during one of my crafting sessions. And underneath it, it said, what do you get when you cross a sheep and a porcupine? You get a sheep that can knit its own sweater. I thought that was kind of cheesy, funny, and kind of cute. So I needed to share that with you too. So yeah, so I was so excited to get out my counting sheep stamp set, and I was putting it together. And then when I got to the part where I wanted to use You're Amazing, I went to grab my sticker, and you can't probably see it on camera too well, but my sentiments are in a different language. I think it's maybe French, but I'm not sure. So when I go to use the sentiments tonight, luckily my my red rubber cling is in English, so I could still go on with my card. Because I got to the end and I really want to make the card, and I thought, what if the sentiments are in French or a different language and I don't even know what it means, and what am I really saying in my card? So yeah, and these are the sheep dies too. So that's where that's coming from, and I will get on with my card. So with this, I am starting out with a basic gray. Hi there, Kelly. Basic gray card base. So it's cut this way, 5.5 by 4.25. So actually 8.5 by 5.5, scored that way. Okay, so what I was going to do next, and I see my stamping friend Lisa is on here. Hi, Kay. And so I was going to just take this chunk, which this is 3.75 by 4 if you do a whole chunk, and I was going to emboss that with my embossing folder. But Lisa loves it. She always chimes in, I love it when you use your scraps up. So when I went to grab a big chunk, 3.75 by 4 of my basic gray, I realized I had tons, and I don't know why, tons of strips, 1-inch strips of basic gray. So I'm like, well, if I'm going to take the chunk and cut it down into 1-inch strips by 3.75, I'm going to use up those strips. So this will help those that love using up scraps and such to go, hey, you know what? I have a lot of scraps of this color, that. Maybe I'm going to do that same technique that Belle just showed us, using up other scraps too. Hi there, Angie. Good to see you on here. So this is the embossing folder I'm using. It's a 3D embossing folder, the painted texture. And so this is the one that has the deep grooves, and I always, you know, painted texture is very appropriate for the name of it, because it does kind of look like what some people's walls look like, or like painting. And then there was that pretty paper that just retired that had this look through it too. Hey there, Tori. And Lisa's laughing like, yes, she's using up scraps. Okay, so before I put my scraps through here, this is the technique that I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to open up my Whisper White crafting ink pad. So this one is, like I said, craft. So it's going to have a little bit longer dry time. Not terrible by any means, but it just has a little bit of a different texture and makeup to it than our regular ink pads. So it's kind of sticky, so I'm just kind of going over and over and over my embossing folder with this, and I have some scratch paper on there too, because I'm going off the edges to make sure I get it covered good. You don't have to worry about it too much, because actually the little pieces that I'm putting on here are only going to be on there so far, and with these too, you don't have to worry about them being exactly lined up either or straight, because the pattern doesn't follow that, where some of it, like if it's a scripty looking thing or whatever, you want to be sure that that's on there. So ink on one side, not on the other, and I'm just going to sandwich that closed like so. Hey there, Chris. I found out, I think, pretty positive, 100% sure that Chris is the one that sent me that cute little cheer box, my yellow box of sunshine, a couple months ago or so, and I have enjoyed using all that kind of stuff, but just wondering, like, who sent me, who was so kind to send me that fun little surprise cheer box, because it was kind of anonymous, and now I know it's her, because she was putting together one for somebody else, and it was the exact same thing. So I was like, okay, now I know the cat's out of the bag. Thank you, Chris. Love you dearly. Okay, so this being a 3D embossing folder, I'm going to use just the base plate, just the one plate, and then this is the extra 3D plate number 4 to use with that. So I'm just going to sandwich that and run it through. And it's such an easy slide through with the sandwich that sometimes I'm like, did it do anything? But it sure did. So now you can see it has some of that white ink, and it got it in the grooves, and it's kind of fun because it's kind of like here, there, and everywhere, but in different, like it's heavier in some, kind of a different smattering of ink depending on, because especially with it being that craft white, it's going to be heavier coverage in other areas and such. So this looks like a mess after I'm done. You'll see that the stripes there where it's the ink absorbed into the cardstock and such, but then you just run this underneath your bathroom faucet, kitchen faucet. I just use water to clean mine up. I did use my fingers, and I'll probably even use like a light scrubby to get the craft ink off, because it's craft ink. If it was any other color that's not craft ink, like our regular colors, you would just wash it and you'd see the color run and just bleed right into the sink. So yes. Yes, and the craft white is fun. So Chris just said, I'm gonna set this down, because if I don't set it in the right spot, you can say I'm gonna get white ink everywhere. So Chris just said, yeah, I have to get my white craft pad out more often. And that's true. I don't use mine nearly as often as I wish I did, because it's always got a nice pop of color to it. So this being craft ink, I'm just gonna set them aside to dry, because I'm not really ready to use them right away anyway. And then while that does that, the next step that I want to do anyway is to stamp out my sheep. So I'm just going to use my basic Memento black ink pad for that. And I'm just going to take one of my sheep. There's 3 different sheep in that stamp set. Oops, I don't like how that one turned out. It doesn't look really crisp and black. So let's flip that over. I think I was just rushing a little too fast. And there's no hurry, because this card really, it looks like one that you'd spend a ton of time on, but it's not so bad. I mean, it's a little putsy. So I've got my 2 sheep here, just kind of cute. This one looks like it could be flying or standing on its legs, and same with this one, flying or dancing or something like that. There we go. Hi, Diane. Thanks for joining in. Let's see. Yeah, I wish I could, oops. Yeah, I think I got my video going now so I can see comments. I kind of keep going back to my screen so I don't miss anything. So for this part, I'm just going to get my camera a little bit closer. And Lisa's asking, can you do that technique with any embossing folder? Yes. So you can do that technique with embossing folders that are 3D, embossing folders that aren't 3D. So either way works. And so I've seen that with the Woodland embossing folder first, because I think that was the one where people were putting like stamped images and different things and trying to kind of camouflage them in among like the tree, the bark looking tree and such too. So yeah, you can use that technique. Now with the one that I used today, I wasn't too fussy about what side I put the ink on, because it kind of covers both sides of the look of that, but there are some definite embossing folders, and I think we can all agree, that are going to show like you have to have one side or the other as your main pattern. So you'll have to kind of be careful when you do that too, because yeah, it's just more important to have some sides showing than others. But for tonight, it was a good pad for me to show that with you guys, because I didn't have to be fussy with that. Okay, so for coloring, I'm just using my Smoky Slate blends. I'm starting out with the light Smoky Slate, and it's one of those things that once it dries and just fades a little bit, it'll just look like a soft little accent here and there on my sheet. But not anything that's going to take over the sheep. You could actually, of course, sheep sometimes are really gray, so if you wanted to add a gray color throughout the whole thing, you could do that too. So that's just the light version. And then the dark of the colors here, dark Smoky Slate, I'm going to go over the little loppy ear and the legs, both the legs and the hooves, in the darker of that, just to kind of make that stick out a little bit more. And then color in these little legs here and back there. So that one's done. So as far as coloring, there's not a lot of coloring that I need to or want to do with the sheep. Here I'm just doing more legs. And let's see, I think this one has, yep, ears up here. Oh, and I lied, I'm not done. I want to add just a pop of pink. So with that, I'm going to use my Flirty Flamingo, which in the cardstock, it's kind of a bright pink. But when I use the light Flirty Flamingo here, and just a little bit here, it just kind of adds, well, that looks too round. I'm just gonna make that a little bit more oblong there. So I think that adds just a little bit onto there, but that's it for the coloring. And because I'm going to die cut these, often you've seen it if I'm just stamping, I take this and then I add just like a little sketchy little pattern of the ink from my blends to give it kind of a shaded base and such. But since I'm die cutting, I don't need to do that. And I'm done coloring, so I'm just going to kind of go back up to the area here where you can see my whole work station there, so I can get ready to cut that out. And then so the dies that I'm using are 2 of the 3 sheep dies, and then there's a couple clouds in there, and a balloon and a fun little like flag or pennant there. So I'm going to line up my sheep here first. Let's see, this one like so, and then this one like so. And I kind of feel like being brave, so I think I'm going to continue. Usually I don't like to continue like this and get too many on, because if I bump one, I bump them all. So my little balloon's gonna go on there, my pennant's gonna go there, and then I have just one white sheet here. This is almost like a cookie tray. I feel like I'm making Christmas cookies there. So those are for my clouds. And if everything stays like these things aren't so bad, it's the sheep that need to stay put while I monkey with everything else. But if I don't breathe, it should stay put. We'll see. I feel like my one sheep may be moved. Not terrible. So here we go. Okay, so we've got a sheep cut out and a sheep cut out, and my clouds are stuck to my cutting plate as well as my balloon. Okay, so let me just push all of that aside here. That's why I love my take your pick tool, because then I can just get that right off my cutting plate like so. Okay, so we've got all these pieces, so now it's basic assembly. Hi there, Chris, thanks for joining in. So like I said, this is the card base. I'm starting with basic gray, and that's also the card color of this strip before I use the white embossing powder, or excuse me, white embossing or white craft pad in the embossing folder. There we go. So that's what changed the color on that. So I'm going to take like 3 dimensionals per strip here, because I want that popped up, because not only did we give it that extra texture to really make it look different, but doing this will actually give it even more of a lift from the base of the card too. So let me peel off all of these stickers. Yeah, I'm so used to trying to stay away from like Deb's name up there, and I can't believe I forgot it, because I was going to lay out my piece of paper to grab her name and host code to put on there, and I think I started getting distracted by the cuteness of my card tonight. I was pretty excited about this card. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of eye from the top, and for those that love structure to the like 1/8 of an inch or 1/16 of an inch, this might drive you crazy, but it works for me. Kind of knew, you know, where I wanted it from the top, kind of created basically pretty equal distance in between, and I feel like if there's more space on one end or the other, that's not going to drive me nuts. For some people it might. Hi there, Jill, thanks for popping in. So then, because this is popped up, I don't think that these cute sheep need to be popped up too much more, because they're already gonna kind of look like they're getting that floating look to them because of being on top of here and such. So this one I'm going to have just kind of jumping that way. This one is going to look like it's going to be almost like more standing that way, like so. And then with these little cloud pieces here, I'm just going to run a little bit of my tape on there, and then that's going to look like this one's kind of jumping out of a cloud, and this one's going to look like a fluffy cloud. Could be even like a big ball of white wool or something too, but it looks like clouds to me, which I like. All right, and then to put on these extra little tiny pieces there, I don't want to do anything, whoops, with these little frail, like the little frail pieces that are just teeny tiny, but with the glue dot, I can put that on the main part of the pennant here. And then the same thing with my little balloon. I think these little balloons and such are just so cute. Look how the balloon even has a little bit of stitching there too. So yeah, I could play around with this, different colors for quite a long time and be really content for my evening. So with that, I'm just gonna kind of tuck it in the sheep's little hooves there, like so. So that comes in, and I've always been fond of gray and yellow together, and just that little pop of pink on the cheeks. It does not make it look girlish at all, just kind of add some like skin tone to that too. And I just think that color could be changed up depending on who the card's for and such too. And then I'm just pulling out another strip of So Saffron, and that color is actually like the light yellow, and it's the color, same color as my pennant and little balloon there. And it's 3/4 inch. Whoops, I always want to pull out this thinking it's my black ink pad because it's black, but it's white. I do want my black ink pad. And this is the one that says "You're amazing." I didn't put my sticker on because, like I said, my sticker has a whole different language. So I have to call Stampin' Up! Tomorrow and say, hey, can you send me some new stickers that have English on them? So this I'm just going to stamp here like so. You're amazing. And then I'm going to pull out my banners Pick-a-Punch, and there's two different banners to pick from, and I want this one, and with that and my strip being 3/4 inches, then it just fits right in that little alleyway for the 3/4 inch slot. So I'll just push it in till it hits the back here, push down, and then we've got a perfect banner cut there, which I love. So nice and easy. Let me just get out my scissor and snip that off like so. Most times when it's a little 3/4 inch strip like that, I can get that off pretty easy without getting too crooked. And then I'm just going to add a little adhesive like so, and then put the "You're amazing" there, down there. And so for my embellishments and such, I thought there's kind of a lot of things going on, but I still wanted a little something to kind of make it pop or sparkle. So from the new, starting today, mini holiday catalog and such, the Cute Stars adhesive back sequins. At first I was thinking, aren't these supposed to be a little bit more yellow because they're stars, but they coordinate perfect with Halloween things. So when I noticed that these were definitely, even however it catches a light, it's always going to be orange. I didn't like that. Black would actually look kind of nice with this, but I kind of want to save, selfishly, my black stars for when I get more into the Halloween creations. This one, technically in the catalog, this section here is called Highland Heather, but it actually works great because it kind of has more of a silver tint to it too. So I'm just going to take 1, 2, and 3 of these stars like so, and just put those on there. And it does add a lot to have that on there, and it just picks up different light. I feel like I'm seeing it and almost looks a little pinkish. You might see it in a whole different light, and when I photograph it to post the still shot, it might be a different color yet, and when you receive it in the mail, it might look different too. But I kind of like this the best with the card, and I like that it's little stars because it kind of matches like the puffy little clouds and the sheep too. Now for the inside, the other sentiment in the stamp set says, "So glad it's your birthday," and that one says, "So glad it's your birthday." My stickers for it there too is in a whole different language, so I'm not putting that sticker on till I get a new one from Stampin' Up. I just want to make sure it's not upside down. Stickers are good for placement and all sorts of things. I kind of feel a little lost without it. So glad it's your birthday. for those that are ordering from Deb's virtual party here, you might go, oh, I like that. You're amazing. I know just what I want to send it for, but I don't want to send it for birthday. And maybe some people might want to send it for birthday. So I'm going to stamp this on the white inside. And for those of you getting the card, it's just going to be in here loose. And if you want to use it just like that, you can tape it down, or if you don't want to use it, you can just put your own sentiment or leave it blank on the inside that way. So the inset for this card will be loose for those getting it. And there again is the outside there. So I was, really excited for this card, not bragging about it because I did case it, which means copy and share everything. I cased it from the Stampin' Up! Email that I got and thought it'd be really fun. And like I said, just to show you guys that texture technique with the embossing folder and ink pads too. You can use that any colors with white cardstock and such too. So kind of fun to play around with that. I love giving you guys different techniques every once in a while too, without being too overwhelming all the time. All right, let me get my camera flipped around here. Whoops. So maybe, there we go. So yeah, that was Deb's card number 2 for her virtual party, and card number 3 will come on Thursday. So tomorrow is Doctor Day, and we're hoping it's our last major one for a while, and so kind of excited but a little guarded yet for tomorrow to go off to Rochester for that. But with that, it should be in and out, in outpatient procedure. So hopefully we'll be back on Thursday. And so hubby's still doing well. Baby steps forward every single day this past week. Feels a little off tonight, and it could just be nerves, just because it's kind of been an exciting week to wake up and know that he hasn't went backwards or starts feeling sick, because that's kind of how it used to be, is every few days he'd start to feel sick again until he needed another procedure. So I feel like infection wise he must be doing better, and just health wise better too. So thanks again for praying and asking, Kay. And so I will check back with you guys Thursday with another card, some more inspiration, and bring you some ideas from probably both celebration and the holiday catalog too. I have something in mind for that. We'll see how it comes together before then to see if that's what I actually bring you, but that's my goal. And so when I'm done here, I'm going to take a picture, post the live picture, and that will also have Deb's host code that you need to use. Or if you would rather that I place an order for you using her host code, I can definitely help you with that too, so that Deb gets the credit and you guys get the cards as a thank you. See you soon. Bye-bye.